Look, once again, we want to welcome you all here joining live with us today from Britain, America, Netherlands, Germany, Philippines. There's so many other countries that come tonight, of course, the United Kingdom, and all those also who will be joining us in fellowship watching later on YouTube and the different streams. Each and every one of you are very, very important to us. You are here because we care for you, and it's just obedience in Yah to come together and fellowship together. It's a sheer privilege to have people like Raina, Erna Todd, Joy, and James and his wife here, pillars of the faith. All of you are pillars of the faith, but ones that we know that really do minister to the community. And it's a privilege that you would join us. So we want to bless you all and thank you for coming this Shabbat to us and joining with us as we worship together. Shane, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, the way we pray, the way I like to pray, guys, is I talk to my Father. That simply, I just talk to my Father, and I just want to talk to him very quickly about you guys. I really do. We get some tremendous input, some tremendous words back from people like Joy Ritterman, Candace, and Sandra, and it means the earth to us. So we bring these people towards you, Yahuwah.
Yes.
We bring these called out and set apart people from all the four corners of the earth before you. We hope that some of them can just sit from this well of living waters today. Just take something small away. It is a serious discussion, Yah, and we really want to move forward with this. We want to take the blinkers off all our eyes. It means so much to Jess and I for these precious ones, these ones that you have chosen, the ones that scriptures call the chosen ones, the elect, the saints, the holy people, the ones that you see something that you have discerned and perceived and recognized something in their hearts that have made them set apart from the rest, poured out and set apart from the apostasy, the true believers. What is the point of us being here, Father, if we cannot take something away from this? So therefore, speak into our very rocks. Let us be lifted. Let us have something. Let something be revealed to us. For it is the glory of Elohim to conceal a matter, but it is the glory of his kings to search out this matter. Let these kings search out these matters. Yahushua, stand with us. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. World War III. This is where we're going to pick up from where we left off last week, but it's not part two. It is an extremely serious subject. There's nothing that I can't bring to you unless I think it can save your family. If you're by yourself, that can save your life. We have to know these things that can just keep us under protection, under the shadow of the wings of the Almighty. Albert Pike talks about, this, I'll just quickly cover things. Albert Pike talks about three letters. The head of the Illuminati talks about three letters way back in 1871 to Mancini, outlining how 3 world wars must happen. World War I happened exactly how that happened. World War II between political Zionists and fascism happened exactly how World War II happened. And World War III will happen exactly how the third letter from Albert Pike to Mancini states it will, between political Zionists and that ain't the Yehudim. Political Zionists is anyone that supports the counterfeit country, anyone who supports what is known as Israel, any one of the elites, any one of the bloodlines, anyone who is of standing. These are the political Zionists like Soros, Rothschild, Rockefeller, Orsini, Breakspear, the hidden ones, the Maximus bloodlines, the hidden 11 bloodlines, all of them Roman. Pepe Orsini, the Grey Pope, you heard me say it before, he is the ruler of the earth. Pepe Orsini, that no one knows anything about, he's from the Maximus bloodline. Caesar. Nothing has changed, guys. Nothing has changed. It was 2,000 years ago, it was the Roman army above land conquering the earth with the emperor, the Caesar sitting in control. Nothing has changed. It's just gone underground. It's just changed the description on his office door. It no longer says Roman emperor. It says Pope, white Pope, black Pope, Pepe Orsini, Ray Pope, who sits above the black and the white Pope that we both know. The Roman army, it's simply the controlled synagogue of Satan, conquering the earth underground. Nothing has changed. These bloodlines will never go until the consummation of time. We've got to understand that Albert Pike's third letter outlines this. Political scientists, the elite, against Islam. It will not be World War III until we see Islam comes in, until we see what 2 Esdras, 4 Ezra talks about, what Jeremiah 25 outlines World War III to a T. It tells you what countries will be involved, when they will be involved, and what will happen if these countries, some of these countries, try and stay out of the war. What will happen? It will show you that one person, one deity, one Elohim is in control, and it is our Father, Yahuwah. It is his wine cup of indignation, his wine cup of fury poured out upon the earth, and they are just pawns in his hands. My servant, the king of Babylon. That's what Yahuwah calls them. Jeremiah 25 perfectly outlines World War III. It is only when Islam comes in can it be called World War III. This is what Matthew 24 talks about, guys. We're going to break it down. We're going to break it down slowly, verse by verse. We're going to see things. It is about you and us. It is about us taking something from this and recognizing the seasons, the times, recognizing the difference between Matthew 24 wars and rumors of wars. We all know what wars are. Rumors of wars just simply mean the propaganda of wars. CNN, Fox, BBC, the propaganda of wars. Them showing you a little mobile screen, a little mobile screen somewhere of a bit of smoke going up in the background. There's your propaganda of wars. There's your rumors of wars that Yahushua is warning his chosen ones about in Matthew 24. We have to recognize wars from the rumor of wars, the propaganda of wars. Now a country has been drawn in, Sudan, over 90% Islamic. It cannot be World War III until the dragon kings of Arabia get involved. The most fierce army imaginable, the dragon kings of Arabia, bloodlines, crown princes of Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Kuwait, you name it. The dragon kings of Arabia have always been around. Just so you know, Rothschild's own personal cult, his own personal bloodline is the blue dragon bloodline. That's Rothschild. Those that call themselves but are not Yehudim, but are not Yehudim. When we see the dragon kings of Arabia, we know that World War III is here. And this is what Jeremiah 25 is going to show us bit by bit. Someone just yell out, we want your input, guys. When I ask you questions, just quickly answer. No one here is going to say wrong, I disagree. No one. We are here to lift up, to encourage. We are here to speak the truth. You will never get conjecture from me. You'll never get opinion, viewpoint, a thought. You will only get what I know to be true. And what I know to be true is what's upon the earth. But you and only you, see to it that no man deceives you. See to it that no man deceives you. See to it that shame does not deceive you. See to it that no man deceives you. You have to research and investigate how some of us do. You have to see that what's put before you is the truth. If anyone tries to manipulate and control your conversation in your own personal time, saying, God has told me, God has shown me, you know, they've just manipulated and controlled the conversation. No one should say, God has told me, God has showed me. Why? You can say that to your husband, you can say that to your wife, you can say it to someone living with you, your daughter, your son. That's a different kettle of fish. But as soon as a person says, God has showed me that World War III is going to happen on Saturday night, they've just controlled and manipulated that conversation, saying that God has showed me and not you. So you can't disagree. You see how wrong that is? I know people that only speak like this. People that every sentence they say, because of their low self-esteem, have got to say, God has showed me, God has showed me. That means you better not disagree with me, guys. That's what that means. I will never give you opinion and viewpoint. I will never say God has showed me. I will show you what I know, the times and the seasons. Daniel says he removes kings and raises up new kings.
Amen.
He changes your times and seasons, Daniel 2:21. He changes your times and seasons. David knew he had to get one special tribe in that I always talk about, tribe of Issachar. Men who taught Israel what they ought to do. 36,000 men in all, 200 captains and chiefs, men who knew the times. Time of peace or time of war. Men who knew these times for one reason, and one reason only. To teach Yasharel what they ought to do. We have to first and foremost recognize the evil agenda of the bloodlines. The evil agenda, call it what you want to. They have this port, the CRF, that port, 10 Kings, UN, World Economic, WEF, every single different name just to add confusion to the situation. That's what they do. Recognize who controls this world, not the earth, who controls this world, the evil ones, the destroyers of the earth, the destroyers of the world, but who is ultimately in control. For Yahuwah has put it in the heart. Daniel shows us that. For Yahuwah has put it in the hearts of these 10 kings to be of one mind and to give their power and authority over to the beast. Yahuwah is in control. Do you not think, if we talk about destruction upon destruction, do you not think that Yahuwah will not protect his chosen ones, his true believers, his elect, his saints? But make no mistake, the fifth seal clearly shows us that some are under the altar. Revelation 2 verse 10 shows us that the devil will put some of you in prison for 10 days unto death. Be faithful unto death. See to it that you do not lose your crown of life. There will not be any illusions of grandeur here, guys. It will be scripture. It will be scripture. It will be knowing the seasons, knowing the times. It will be caring for the chosen ones. That's it. From the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. I will not speak about myself. I care for nothing. I care for nothing but to show you the truth. I care for no building. I care for no church. I care for no bums on seats. I care for no book sales. Nothing, except to strengthen. This is the purpose of the elect. We have one purpose. You have one purpose. You have one purpose. The one purpose of the elect is to strengthen the elect who are in danger of falling. That's it. To strengthen the elect who are in danger of falling. How do you fall? How do you fall? See to it that no man deceives you. For they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Get your heart right. Get your heart right. I found a man after my own heart. For the eyes of Yahuwah go to and fro across the face of the earth, looking for one who makes themselves strong in Yahuwah. Get your heart right. How can we attack? This is what amazes me, guys. This is what burns me. What burns me is not the secular. What burns me is the apostasy. The apostasy in Christendom, the apostasy in Torah, the apostasy who say, I love you, Jesus. I love you, Yahushua. I love you, whatever they call him. They honor me with the lips, but the heart is far from me. How can you attack the Kodashim and then spit out peace? Shalom, shalom, every Shabbat, shalom. How can you attack the Kodashim? That's the job of the beast. Daniel shows us that. The job of the beast halfway through the tribulation at the 3.5 year point is when the beast makes war against the saints. That's why the 3.5 year point to the end of the tribulation is called the Great Tribulation. It's never been seen before. The first half, it's hard, but at the halfway point when the beast makes war against the saints is when the crunch comes. This is when we have to be equipped. This is when we have to know the scriptures. This is when we have to know how the fourth seal will happen. Enoch talks about, I will mingle my judgments together. I will mingle my judgments together. The seals, the trumpets, maybe even the vials. Mingle them together. It goes on to talk about in the book of Enoch to throw confusion upon them, the wicked ones, to throw confusion upon them. But then it goes on and talks about one sentence, but my elect, they should know. They should know. Don't expect a tribulation to happen. First seal, second seal, third seal, fourth seal. Yeah, that's how it started. I will mingle my judgments together, the trumpet judgments, the seal judgments. When the fourth seal comes, the first seal is open, the second seal is open, the third seal is open. If some of us can't see that, there's nothing I can do for you. It's the fourth seal. It's the fourth seal and the fifth seal, where the beast makes war upon the holy people. That's when the crunch comes. Death, the fourth seal, death by 4 methods. Death by the sword. Now, the sword does not only mean war. Does not only mean war. The sword in Hebrew means death by a sharp instrument, death by a cutting instrument, death by a dagger, death by a needle, death by a sword, death by a guillotine. Revelation 2 shows you that. It also means drought. Complete different meaning. We've got to know the Hebrew words of key things that we feel, that we believe that Yahuwah may be trying to show some of us. Cutting instrument, death, sword, cutting instrument, sword, sharp instrument, dagger, needle, guillotine. Fourth seal, death by the sword, death by death. Death means death by death. The second means is death by any cause, death by the snake bite, death by cancer, death by respiratory problems, death by chemtrails, death by any method whatsoever. The third method of the fourth seal, death by famine. There's your third seal. There's your third seal that's taken over the earth. Scarcity that leads to famine. Scarcity that leads to famine, fourth seal. And death by pestilence, there's your virus. There is the release of the first virus. Death by sword, death, famine, pestilence. That's the virus that kills. Not the first seal, the fourth seal. See to it that no man deceives you. Deception upon deception upon deception. Let's look. Something John H. said in London, okay, about the hidden books. Let's look. We're going to look at 2 Esdras, 4 Ezra, and Jeremiah 25. We're going to take our time and go through it verse by verse. We're going to break it down.
Esdras.
It will not happen. World War III will not happen until you see Islam brought into it. Sudan is Islam. I ain't saying it's here. What I am saying is keep your eye on this. Anyone, just yell it out. Just yell out quickly. Anyone knows in the Old Testament what Sudan was called? Let's just wait 10 seconds. Just call out the one name. What was the country that Sudan was called in the Old Testament?
Kush.
Kush.
That was Christine, I think.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Kush. There will never be any wrong answers here, guys, right? There will never be any wrong answers. You can say Upper Mongolia if you want to. I won't ever say to you wrong. Okay? We're trying to lift you guys up. We see your input all the time. We see your live chat, your input on Tuesday night. We see some startling, wonderful revelations from some true believers. Don't stop. Keep it going. Keep it going. Stand against all your low self-esteem, every single one of us. Stand against your lack of confidence. David says, my confidence is not found in me. It's found in his faithfulness. That's how David stood. My confidence is not found in me. It's found in his faithfulness. That's how you stand. That's how you stand. Cush. Ezekiel 38 talks about Cush. We won't even go there. A mighty army against the Kurdistan. A mighty army back in the old days. Watch this space. Sudan. It is only when the dragon kings of Arabia get involved can we call it World War III. World War III is the fourth seal. Death by 4 methods. The fourth seal is also other factors. Cutting instruments, sharp instruments, needles, daggers, guillotine. It's a combination. 94 books, guys. 4 Ezra, 2 Ezras. I'm going to get some help here. Okay, look, what I read from is 3 things. I tell you this all the time. I read from the Sefer. I read from my Apocrypha, 30 years old, 1895 printed. Okay, I've had this for 30 years. All my notes are in here. The writing is very, very small, so I've got to do this all the time, guys. Okay, please excuse me. I can read, but sometimes it's hard to get these little letters together, and okay. And printed in 1825, which I have 1 here and about 6 up there. Magnificent family Bibles. I've had for over with a million zillion notes in there. Okay, so that's why you see me chop and change. So just bear with me, guys. 4 Ezra chapter 14. In the Apocrypha 2 Esdras, chapter 14. We're looking at World War III. We're looking at the dragon kings of Arabia being involved. We're looking at many shall perish upon the face of the earth, but I will save me a grape from a cluster. You little grapes. You little grapes. When you talk to your father, you say, I am your grape. David would say, Yahuwah would only say this over two people, Yashurel and his son with his heart, David, you are the apple of my eye. David, you are the apple of my eye. Don't ever let our low self-esteem, our lack of confidence, it's not found in me, it's found in his faithfulness, ever put you, you are the apple of his eye. And you stand before him and say, Father, I want my little niece to survive. I want my little daughter to live. If you live by yourself, Father, I want to survive. I want to stand to the very end. For I am the apple of your eye. And you watch what he does over your life. It's up to each and every one of us to choose that or not choose. That's why they call the apostasy. They honor me with the lips, but their heart is far from me. It's far from me. Yahuwah cares about one thing in you and I, your heart. He cares about one thing, your heart. If you hear me talk about me, myself, and I, you know I have a serious heart problem. I can sit here and tell you people that I hear all the time, all they ever talk about is me, myself, and I. They have a serious heart problem. From the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. You listen to the mouth speaking of these people who call themselves true believers. You listen to them, and all they talk about is themselves. They honor me with the lips, but the heart is far from me. We care for nothing but to show you the way that you may just take a little sip of this grubby, filthy little living water that we may sent before you, and you take something away from here. World War III, Islam, the Dragon Kings of Arabia. The why is it kept secret from us? We're going to start with something John H. from London talked about, 94 books. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. I gave away the key. 2 Ezra 14, okay? Oh, goodness, how am I going to read this, guys? Verse, okay.
The words of Yahweh.
2 Ezra 14, verse, verse 5, guys. Look, I've got it all here, but it's just so hard for me to read because the lighting is so bad here. Okay. 2 Ezra 14, verse 5. So 4 Ezra 14, verse 5. Here we go. A few words in. And told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the evils of the seasons. This is what we're trying to find here, guys. The secrets of the times and the evils of the seasons. If I say the wrong word, just spit it out, guys, because I'm struggling very bad here with this while I'm reading it from the Apocrypha. And commission him, saying, these words shall they publish openly, and these shall thou hide. So who is telling him to publish openly some words, but to hide some books? We jump down to 16. For yet worse evils than these which thou have seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look, how much has the world become weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. This is talking about the wicked ones, the bloodlines, the elites, the politicians, you name them, you named them, you named them, the initiatives, those they draw in, the Masons, they're slaves to the Illuminati, the initiatives, they're called the initiatives. The 33 levels of Freemasonry ain't 33 levels, guys. The 33rd level is an honorary position, something that John Wayne held. You think John Wayne's the most powerful Mason in the world? Nah, I don't think so. The 32nd degree in the first 33 degrees is the highest position. the Grand Master, but there is 111 degrees of Masonry, secret cults that only some know the few names to: Skull and Bones, the Pilgrim Society, between the USA and Britain, what Winston Churchill was part of. Winston Churchill, high priest and Druid, Hassatan's leading man, Winston Churchill. Pilgrim Society, what US ambassadors to UK ambassadors to USA are all about. The Pilgrim Society, the two leading countries in the world that control the earth, USA and Britain. The black nobility, controlling the world through one, and the Pilgrim Society. We never hear of these things, guys. Verse 17. Verse 18 now. For the truth shall withdraw itself further off, and knowing be hard at hand, for the eagle to come, which thou sawest in the vision. The truth is going to withdraw itself. The truth of the seasons, the truth of the times, the truth of the agenda of the wicked ones is going to withdraw itself for the eagle to come. For the eagle to come. The truth is being pulled back. The truth is being concealed. The truth is being hidden. The evil truth is being protected by a body of people for the eagle to come. Now, someone just shoot out to me. You've done it beautifully last time, guys. More than a country, what entity has always had the eagle as a symbol? Just yell it out.
Rome.
Yes,
Right.
yes, and yes. Well, the truth will conceal itself, guys, because Rome pulls it back. Rome hides it from the untrue believer, from the secular world, from the pagans. Rome hides it. Rome controls it. Everything we see on TV is Jesuit theater. Everything we hear in the media is Jesuit theater. Everything, our work, our mortgage, our taxes, our leases, everything we have in our life is Roman captivity, Roman bondage. Rome is in control. This is why we're warned throughout, come out of her, Babylon, come out of her. Rome, Egypt is the thought pattern into bondage. Babylon is the captivity of that thought pattern of bondage. I want a bigger car. I want a bigger house. I want a bigger promotion. I want a bigger wife. I want a bigger this. I want a bigger that. I want a bigger pay packet. That's a thought process, Egypt, that leads you to bondage, that leads you to captivity. Babylon, it's all the same. The Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Phoenicians, Babylonians, they are all of the synagogue of Satan. Rome controls everything. For the eagle to come, this is what is warning us here. For the eagle to come. I don't know, Jesse, how I'm going to read the rest of this because this slide is so bad in here.
Well, we can read it. And Beck, can I think.
Well, next slide, yeah. Well, next, okay, you know, that's a great. Beck and Kurt, can you start? Can you just pick up until my light adjusts itself, until it goes a little bit dark in here? Okay, so we're going to go from, there's a few more verses. Okay, jump down to 26, please.
Okay. And when you have done some things, shall you publish, and some things shall you show secretly to the wise. Tomorrow, this hour, shall you begin to write.
Excellent. Now we're going to take this verse by verse, guys. So if we ask someone to read, just hold it after each verse. Some you open publicly, some you hide. Some you hide. There's the Bible. Not even the correct word, Bible. Scriptures. Study the scriptures. openly publish them. Some you hide. We're talking about the prophetic books. We're talking about the books that you know, that you believe, that you research, that you investigate to be true, like what we're doing here. Back down to 44, please. Here are the secret books hidden from us.
44. In 40 days, we wrote 94 Sephirim.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
Come on. 45.
Okay. And it came to pass when the 40 days were filled that Elian spoke, saying, the first that you have written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that you may deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge.
Wonderful. If you've got the Apocrypha, it says 414 books. The big question was, what's 414 books? And Beck just answered. 94 books. Some you open, publish these, some you keep secret. Some you keep secret for a specific group of people, true believers, and the wise. And the wise. That's why you can talk about Enoch, you can talk about Baruch, you can talk about Joshua, you can talk to the apostasy about these incredible books, and they will be blinded to them. For it is the wise that Yahuwah wants to show them to. It is the called out, set apart assembly, the messianic community that Yahuwah wants to reveal this to. Some keep secret for the wise. It's you guys. When you study these books, you are the apple of his eye. He's seeing you as wise. He's saying, my daughter, I have chosen you. I have selected you. I've called you before the formation of time. You are the apple of my eye. I want to reveal this to you, my daughter. I want to show this to you. Do not throw your pearls before swine. Do you know what Yahuwah said to me? This is the only time you ever hear me, God said. A contradiction, yeah? In 2020, when I knew what was here, Yahuwah said one thing and one thing only to me. He said, do not throw your pearls before swines. And I went, This is exactly what he meant. Do not throw your pearls before swines. That's why he pleads in Revelation 1, 2, and 3. He pleads eyes to see, ears to hear. He can't talk to Jerusalem unless he says, you got to have eyes to see and ears to hear. My goodness. Drew, you get ready, please. I want you to pick this up for me. Beck, sorry, Kurt, we just go to 46 and 47. Oh, we just read that, didn't we?
We just read that. Yeah, Becky just read that.
As be wise of those people. Okay, I'm going to put this down. Don't take your grubby little finger out of the next verse, chapter 15. Keep your grubby little finger there. We're coming back to it, guys, right?
I got a grubby finger.
Good work. Jeremiah 25. I've got bigger print, guys. Okay, bigger print on this family Bible. Yemayahu, chapter 25, World War III. We're going to see who gets involved. I will never say, hey, Drew, can you read this? I'll give you a 1 minute notice. So don't flick through the pages thinking, my goodness, why didn't you give me warning? I will give you warning, okay, guys? I'm going to need help through the Apocrypha. Sudan, over 90% Islamic. World War III will happen between political Zionists, the rulers of the world, destroyers of the earth, the elites, the bloodlines, and Islam. We're going to look at the dragon kings of Arabia. The next verse in 4 Ezra, chapter 15, shows you the dragon kings of Arabia. Jeremiah 25 shows you the dragon kings of Arabia. Psalm 83 shows you the confederation of 10 dragon kings of Arabia. Here's Asaph. I love Asaph. David's chief musician, Asaph. Revealing from Yahuwah the confederation of 10 dragon kings of Arabia. Eyes to see. Eyes to see. You are the apple. Your eye is the apple of his eye. You are the apple of his eye. Jeremiah 25, verse 9. Now listen to who his servant is. Jeremiah 25, verse 9. World War III. The dragon kings of Arabia comes in. We're looking at countries, when they come in, who they are, what happens if they try and stay out, what will happen to them. We're looking at who's in control. Never let go. Sandy, never let go of who's in control. Who's in control of all this? Don't fear, don't dread. You are, this is why I push it and push it. You are a grape from a cluster. You are a small plant from a great forest. You are a drop from a wave. For many shall perish on the face of the earth, but I shall save my grape, my drop, my small plant. You are the apple of my eye. Don't fear, don't dread. Stand firm. Stand firm. See to it that no man deceives you. Yahuwah is in control. He's got plans for his grapes. Verse 9, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, says Yahuwah. When you read about all the families of the north, it's talking about Babylon. Whenever Yehuda was ever attacked from the north, it was always the Babylonian army sweeping down. The Babylonian armies, nothing has changed, guys. It's Babylon in control. It's Babylon who is our enemy. When the beast makes war against the holy people, that's Babylon. That's who sits on the throne, Rome, Babylon. Nothing has changed. And Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, someone yelled out the next two words, the king of Babylon. What's the next two words after that?
My servant.
You got it. Kurt, you got it.
Yeah, my servant.
In his hand. It is Yahuwah who instructs them to give their power and authority over to the beast. You read Job chapter 1, Job chapter 2, Hasatan, Hael, the howler, can do nothing without permission from Yahuwah. You know that. We're preaching to the choir. You know that. Job chapter 1, Job chapter 2 clearly shows you that. There's a line drawn in the sand. This is why they use the motto, hidden in plain sight. They are told under authority from Yahuwah to Hasatan, from Hasatan to his initiatives, that they must warn us. And if we've got blind eyes and stuffed up ears, then it's our fault. Yeah, it's harsh. Yeah. But he wants you to come chasing after him like no man alive. He wants you to ascend your holy hill. If you can't climb your holy hill through the last 7 years of the consummation of the earth, then you have troubles. I have troubles. If no woman and no man can chase up the holy hill of El Elyon, the Most High, then we have problems, guys. I don't know what it's going to take. You chase after Elohim like no man alive. You be a woman of uncommon valor, and you stand like no one else in the cluster, no one else in the wave, no one else in the great forest. You stand alone. You stand alone, and you stand alone. For Paul says, I have conflicts on all sides, fighting without and fear within. I have conflict on all sides. There's my good friend, Rick B. Rick, good to see you, my very special friend. Yeah? Welcome, bro. Welcome. You want to know what it is to stand alone? You talk to this guy once. Talk to this guy. Called out and set apart like no one that we know. Called out and set apart in the wilderness like no one that we know. standing against all the pain that we all have to go through. That's what I call a stand. That's why I admire him. You are the apple of his eye, guys. You take one thing home, you take that home. Jeremiah 25, verse 9. Kurt yelled out, King of Babylon, my servants, and will bring them against this land, against the inhabitants thereof, and against all those nations round about, and will utterly destroy them. That's what's going to happen. Utterly destroy them. The nations all about. Utterly destroy them. No escape, no nothing, no nothing. Utterly destroy them. It's carved in stone. And make them an astonishment and a hissing and a perpetual desolation. Verse 10, moreover, I will take from them the voice of myrrh and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones and the light of the candle. That is exactly what Jeremiah, what Yirmiyahu was seeing here, exactly what John the Revelator sees in Revelation 18:23. This one verse here in verse 10 is the same verse as Revelation 18:23, the very last breath of being born again, the very last second of accepting him or not accepting him, the very last time anyone that dwells on the face of the earth can accept Yahushua as their Messiah. This is the very last breath of the consummation of time. Revelation 18:23 says, and the light of the candle shall not shine you anymore, and the voice of the bride and the bridegroom shall not be heard in you by anymore. But by their pharmakia, all the nations of the earth will deceive, not by war, not by famine, not by pestilence, not by the wild beasts of the fields. When you read wild beasts, it means destroying armies. Wild beast translates the Hebrew, not the Strong Concordance in Hebrew, as destroying armies. Not by them, by pharmakia. By pharmakia. All the nations of the earth were deceived. It's the very last breath of accepting him. If it ain't done by that time, goodbye. Welcome, lake of fire. Goodbye. Sword, cutting instrument, sharp instrument, guillotine, dagger, needle, and also drought, and also war. Know the true words. Understand the Jesuit confusion and the Jesuit corruption, for the eagle has come, that we read earlier, for the eagle has come. Truth shall withdraw itself. Truth that we read shall withdraw itself, for the eagle, Rome, has come. Jesuit corruption. You need to know the key words that you feel are trying to be revealed to you from the very breath, the very wind of Yahuwah, his Ruach HaKodesh. What is he trying to speak to Eugene and Jessica? What is he trying to speak to James, Joy, and Drew? What is he trying to speak to Mary and Randy? What's he trying to speak? What's his breath, his wind, his Ruach, his HaKodesh trying to say? Robert E. Lee. He's trying to show us something. You got to know the true meanings, get away from Jesuit corruption. Verse 13, we're going to skip. We're going to break it down and slow it down. And I will bring upon that land all my words, which I have pronounced against it. All my words. All my words. That's the seals, that's the trumpets, that's destruction upon destruction. All my words. It's going to happen, guys. The apostasy, you won't believe it. The apostasy, you want to talk about blessings, forgiveness, grace and peace to you, brother Timothy. And how's Apollyon's mother-in-law's ingrown toenail? That's what they want to talk about. The Roman handcuffs, you heard me say it last time, the Roman handcuffs that they used to keep Christendom in bondage is the 501c3 gift aid. The 56 abominations, let no one, 56 abominations of the 501c3 gift aid. That's the handcuffs of Rome upon believers. The hirelings, the shepherds, the principals of the flocks, that means elders. Let no one speak about from the book of Revelation. Let no one speak from the book of Jude. Let no one speak from Enoch. Why would Rome say that no one speak from the book of Enoch? Handcuffs. Proof of the Torah. For the eagle has come and truth shall withdraw itself. For the eagle has come, Rome, and truth shall withdraw itself. That's why. Goes on, it goes on. We won't even go there today. We won't even go there, my goodness. The bottom of verse 13, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all that nations, A-L-L, that ain't spelling Israel. All that nations, World War III. Guys, it's just going to happen in Israel. It's just going to happen when the Palestinians attack Jerusalem. This is political science. All, my scripture says all the nations. Verse 14, for many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also. And I, Yahuwah, recompense them according to their deeds, their evil, and according to the works of their own hands. Revelation 9, verse 20 and 21 talks about they still do not repent from the works of their own hands. Who? The kings. What Jeremiah has shown you here, the kings will still not repent, even when the vials are poured out upon them, even when they've seen the trumpets, and now the wrath of Elohim, the vials, the 7 vials poured out, they still will not repent of the works of their hands. That's what Jeremiah has shown you here. They won't repent. A low lake of fire. They won't repent. See to it that no man deceives you. Rome controls this world. We're called out, we're set apart, you're the apple of his eye. You chase after Elohim like no woman alive. And if I perish, I perish. Esther, if I perish, I perish. 5th seal. Laying under the altar. Revelation 2:10. Some. There's confusion about the word some. There's confusion about the word some. Some of you should be put in prison for 10 days. The devil will put you there. Hold on. See to it that you are faithful until the very end. Cutting instruments, sword, guillotine. That you do not lose your crown of life. You see, all the words fit together. You see, all the words fit together if you have eyes and ears and a heart after. For you are the apple of keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on. You've come this far, don't give up. You've come this far in your pathetic, miserable little life. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Verse 15. For thus says Yahuwah Elohim of Yasharel unto me, Jeremiah Yemayahu, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand and cause, someone yell out the next 3 words, and cause
All the nations.
All the nations.
go on. And again,
All the nations.
Israel, just Israel,
All the nations.
all the nations. World War III. All the nations to whom I send thee. All the nations to whom I send Jeremiah, to thee, to drink it. And Yahuwah says, and they shall drink it. They can't escape. They shall drink it. Drew, just go to one thing. I'll give you a minute. Go to Revelation 14 for me. Drew, my friend, Revelation 14. You guys stay here. I'm going to get Drew to read something in 1 minute's time. We're up to verse 16. And they shall drink it and be moved and be mad with power, mad with fear, because of the sword that I will send among them. Sword, cutting instrument, Hebrew, cutting instrument, sharp instrument, dagger, needle, guillotine, war, drought. See to it there. See what fits there. They'll be mad because of the cutting instruments. Send unto them the wine cup of Yahuwah's fury. What is that? What is that? And who is that against? Drew, have you got Revelation 14?
Yes.
I want you to read 3 verses, nice and slow. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Well, that's actually 4, isn't it? 9 to 12, Drew. The
And the
wine
third
cup.
angel,
Yeah.
and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive the mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yahusha.
Stay there, Drew. Beautiful. Beautifully read. Articulate and powerfully read. Received the man. Worship and worship the image. And receives his mark. Cutting instrument. Sharp instrument. Dagger. Needle. War. Drought. Guillotine. Take your pick. See it fit together. Next verse, chapter 15, 1 verse. Drew, just read it.
Chapter 14, chapter 14.
The very next verse, which I think is 15, verse 1.
Revelation.
Yeah, Revelation, yeah.
And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Elohim.
So hold on a second, Drew.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, you're right, mate.
In progress.
Yeah, chapter 14, verse 13.
Got you. Okay. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in Yahweh from henceforth. Yea, says the Ruach, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them.
Okay. That's tied into what just happened. That's tied into the 5th seal. That's tied into the beast makes war against the holy people at the halfway point of tribulation. That's tied in. It shows you that some true believers shall be martyred. It says from henceforth, from this moment onwards, the strong angel is proclaiming from this moment onwards. What moment? The moment that Drew just talked about. From this moment onwards, talks about death. Talks about death of the true believers. 3 destinies you hear all the time. Throughout the last 7 years of the consummation of this earth, 3 destinies: the sword, captivity, escape, and endure. It's not up to us, it's up to him. It's not up to us, it's up to him. But you are the apple of my eye. You are my drop, my small plant. I'll protect you from under the shadow of the wings of the Almighty. Will flee into the wilderness. The earth will open up. That's the people. That's the people. The earth will open up and swallow up the torment of the beast coming after you. Ooh, that means you're gonna get help. Daniel shows you that. It says, and many, talking about the holy people. Daniel here is talking about the holy people, and many shall come to you out of intrigue, and many shall come to you out of intrigue. For my holy people shall be strong and carry out exploits, Hebrew, heroic deeds, and many shall come to you out of intrigue. That's how they help you throughout the end times, when the beast makes war against the holy people. He knows how to protect you. My goodness, my goodness. He comes to Dragon Kings. Verse 17. They got the wine cup that Drew talked about, the wine cup of Yahuwah's fury. Sword. Sword. Yahuwah's going to make them, all the nations, drink it, drink it, drink it, drink it. Then took I the cup at Yahuwah's hand and made all the nations to drink, unto whom Yahuwah has sent me. 18. To wit, here they come. Jerusalem and the cities of Yehuda, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, an astonishment, a hissing, and a curse, as it is to this day. Jeremiah is saying, as it is to this day, this is not the Holy Land, guys. This is the unholy land. You forgive me. Some of us have mindsets, and I understand that, and I respect that. It ain't the Holy Land, guys. It's the unholy land, as it is to this day. What day? Jeremiah's day. A hissing, a curse, an astonishment. There's nothing holy about the state of Israel, guys. 19. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people. Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Pharaoh, king of Egypt. We ain't talking about countries. We're talking about principalities and spirits. We're talking about the bloodlines. Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Bad bear Orsini. We're talking bloodlines. We're talking pharaonic bloodlines, black nobility, Saxon, Coburg, and Gotha. Black nobility, the monarchs, the royals. Bloodlines, pharaonic bloodlines, octagon. You got to know your enemy. You got to know your enemy. You got to know not only about Rome, who Rome is. You got to know Rome's agenda. What Rome wants, what Rome will do. Scripture will show you what happens to Rome. 20. And all the mingled people, we know what that means. Mingled people. Hassatan's DNA, seed of the serpents, mingled people. And all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azra, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Sidon, and all the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea. Now just use your common sense. All the nations of the earth. Spit out to me, guys, some of the isles.
British.
Yes. Keep it going. In the four corners of the earth. What's some of the isles?
Taiwan.
Who said that? Drew?
Taiwan.
Beautiful. Go on, guys.
Japan.
Yes, Japan. World War II, Japan.
Australia.
It talks about he wakes up the nations. Enoch talks about Yahuwah wakes up the nations to attack the earth. Japan. He woke them up. in what was it, Pearl Harbor, 1941? Is that correct? 1941, he woke them up, December. He woke them up. He woke up the nations to attack the earth, the evil, wicked ones. The Isles. Go on, shoot them out, shoot them out.
Solomon,
Yeah, Solomon. Where's this guy come from? Where's this guy come from? Come on, Jessica, you know where I come from, don't you?
What, Australia?
Yes.
Zealand,
What's next? Yes, New Zealand. Rick, put a smile on Rick B's face, yeah? Get to think about where I come from, yeah? The Isles.
Madagascar,
Isles. You got it, guys. You got it. You got it. Robert, excellent. One more time, Robert.
Madagascar,
Madagascar, off the coast of Africa. Now we're getting close. We're getting close.
Philippines.
Yeah, Philippines. I bet that was Jessica and Eugene. Was that right? You've gone off my page, guys.
How was it? I thought it was Lisa.
Now,
Okay.
what about New Zealand?
Yes, New Zealand. Already said. Good work, guys. Good work.
Indonesia.
That was Lisa.
Where I lived and worked for a long time. Indonesia. Beautiful. Indonesia, Bali, and Jakarta. Jakarta, very,
The
very.
Philippines?
Yes.
The Philippines?
Good, James.
The
Philippines.
Philippines?
We're talking World War II again, James. You've seen that happen before. We'll see it happen again.
Yes, we will.
General MacArthur. You see it happen before. We'll see it happen again.
Bermuda,
Japan, you got it. You got it, Robert. You got it and you got it. You see, World War III, all the nations. Let's move on. Here comes the Dragon Kings. Verse 20, verse 23. Dedom and Tema and Boz and all that in the utmost corners. Now, I won't even go there about the word corners, yeah? It's one of my words. The utmost corners of the earth. Now, just stop and think, just use common sense. There are no wrong answers. No one gave a wrong answer. What are the countries of the utmost corners of the earth? Let's go south first. What's the countries, the utmost corners of the earth, south?
Vanessa here has said Greenland and
North.
Antarctica.
Beautiful. Greenland, Iceland, and Antarctica's south, so she's Arctic. Yes? Okay, go anywhere you want to, guys. East or west or south. What's the utmost corners of the earth? Just think of a map. What's down south?
South Africa.
Yep. What's even further than that, Lisa? You're from South Africa, Lisa, aren't you?
No.
Antarctica.
What's even south than South Africa?
Antarctica.
Yeah.
Very good. Antarctica, Australia, New Zealand, the very tip of South America, Chile, Peru.
Chile.
And let's
Yeah.
go over to the west. What's over to the west? What's over the west? Utmost corners of the earth. Who's called the West? Who's called the West? You got communism, you got the West. Who's called the West?
United States.
Yes. Exactly. United States, United Kingdom, France, Germany, utmost corners of the earth. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. World War III. These are the nations coming in, the nations involved, the nations drinking from the wine cup of Yahuwah's fury. If they refuse to drink, they shall certainly drink and be mad and spew and fall. Total destruction upon destruction. We just have a little bit of fun with that, guys. A little bit of fun. But it is deadly serious. And here they are, verse 24. Rick B, can you read verse 24 if you got it up? Jeremiah 25, verse 24. Don't ever forget this, guys.
And it says, and all the kings of Arab, and all the king of the mingled people that dwell in the deserts.
There they are, guys. Good work, Rick. And all the kings of Arabia and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert. There's your Confederation of 10, Psalm 88, Arab nations. There's Albert Pike's third letter containing to major principles of World War III, political science and Islam.
Mm.
There's the dragon kings of Arabia, the four Ezra is going to talk about. Here they come. Here comes the most feared army that this earth has ever seen, except for one army. Except for one army. And I ain't even going to go there today, but I just got to spit it out quickly. David spent 11 years in the wilderness, 2 years in the forests of Ephraim and the caves of Adullam. Not one enemy could track down David, not the Philistines, not the Ammonites, not even his own army that he once co-led under Abishai and Joab, under Saul. Not even Yasharel could track David down, hiding out as an outlaw, a traitor, a bandit, a renegade, a rebel, inside the caves of Adullam. But Yahuwah sent David 400 mighty men and their families, their wives, their children. Here is the greatest fighting army the world has ever seen. It says that every single one, these were the only men on the face of the earth that could track David down. No army, no enemy could track David down. But these 400 mighty men could, yet they weren't mighty at this point. They were men in debt, men in distress, men in despair, men in depression, downhearted, downtrodden. All the turmoil, all the deeds that you can think of they had. And David formed them and equipped them and trained them to be the greatest fighting army on the face of the earth. And stories after stories after stories were talked about these great ones: Eleazar, Abishai, Azazel, Ashael, sorry, I said Azazel, Ashael, which means swift-footed deer. He could run like no man alive. When David has a message, when David wanted to give a message to one of his generals, Abishai or Joab, he would send Abishai, he would send Ashael, the swift-footed deer, boom, and he would just bolt through the enemies, boom, bolt through the enemies. No one could run after him. The 400 mighty men of David were the strongest fighting army on the face of this earth. And the dragon kings of Arabia are the counterfeit of that. They're going to cause destruction upon all the nations of the earth. But Yahuwah is equipping special ones to stand for the truth of the Torah. I ain't saying take the sword, guys. I'm saying for the truth of the Torah, who keep the law of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahushua in their hearts. This is the 400 mighty men of the end times. These are the mighty ones. The ones he has chosen before the formation of time. The ones he will equip and train and raise up, who are called out and set apart. Those who have a purpose, and the one purpose is to strengthen the elect who are in danger of falling. That's it. Strengthen the elect. Strengthen the elect who are in danger of falling, for they love not the truth. That's why they fall, for they love not the truth. So you have to show them the truth. I have conflict on all sides, fighting without, fear within. You got to stand against your fear. You got to stand against your conflicts. You got to stand against your fighting without. For the truth of the Torah, to build Yah's mighty army. This is not illusion of grandeur. This is knowing the scriptures. Verse 26. And all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, no one escapes World War III, guys. And all the kingdoms of the world, if any man comes to you and says, it's all about Israel and Palestine, it's all about Iran and Palestine, you say, all my scriptures, all the kingdoms of the earth, all the nations of the world. That's what you say to them. Which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Sheshach shall drink after them. Why is it called Sheshach? I don't know. It's talking about the king of Babel here, the king of Babylon. But here it says Sheshach. I don't know why it's called that. It's talking about the king of Babel, king of Babylon, shall drink after them. Verse 27. Therefore, thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yehoshaphat, the Elohim of Yasharel, drink ye, and be drunken, and spew and fall, and rise no more. Their countries are going to be annihilated and rise no more. What kind of warfare can do that? What kind of warfare can annihilate country after country after country? Someone just yell out, what kind of warfare can do that?
Say that louder.
What kind of
That
warfare?
would be nuclear
Nuclear.
warfare.
Yes, that's exactly the word we're looking for. Nuclear warfare. Exactly, Kurt. Nuclear warfare is what annihilates the earth. The archer with a strong bow, whose arrow shall not return to him. There's your smart missiles. There's your missiles. Verse 28. They're going to be drunken. They're going to drink from the wine cup of Yahuwah's fury. They're going to spew. They're going to fall. They're going to rise no more. They're destroyed. They're annihilated. They're utterly destruction upon destruction. Verse 28. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup of thy hand to drink. Here's what happens to countries. It says, I ain't fighting this war, guys. Hey, America. Hey, China. Hey, Russia. I ain't joining you. Here's what happens to them. If they refuse to drink, because the wine cup of Yahuwah's fury is in Yah's hand. It ain't in the bloodline's hands. It ain't in the beast's hands. It's in Yah's hands. It's Yah's wine cup. Yah always measures the abominations of the earth through a cup, the cup of the Ammonites. Once the sin of the Ammonites are filled up in the cup, I shall pour out my wrath. The cup of the scarlet woman of Babylon, dripping out blood. He measures everything Yahuwah does. He measures by a measuring reed, a wine cup, the sins of the earth in a wine cup. And as soon as it gets to the very, 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 very top, and one bubble, one drop overflows, that's it. That's the consummation of time. That's the consummation of time. He measures everything. He measures the new Jerusalem with a measuring reed. He measures everything. He even measures how high the death will be here. He measures everything. 28. If they refuse to take the cup of thy hand to drink, then thou shalt say unto them, thus says Yehoshaphat, ye shall certainly drink, ye shall certainly be invaded, ye shall certainly be nuked. Ye shall certainly, your nation, your country shall certainly be desolated, but I'll save me a grape. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And should ye be utterly unpunished, he's talking about Christendom here, guys. The city called by my name, who are supposed to be my people. Do you think you're going to escape? Not you guys, not you guys. He's talking to Christendom. The city called by my name. Jerusalem, called by my name. You're my people. You're my people. You're my people. But you honor me with your lips, but your heart is far from me. I'm speaking about Christendom. I'm speaking about the apostasy. I'm speaking about those who call themselves believers, not true believers, believers. You shall you think ye be utterly unpunished? Ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, says Yehoshaphat, sword, cutting instrument, Hebrew, cutting instrument, sharp instrument, war, dagger, needle, drought. I keep on saying it to you. Sword. I'll call for it against you. I'll call for needle against you. You apostate, I'll call for needle against you. You turn your little, what's supposed to be the house of Yahuwah, into a NHS outpost for the snake bite. I'll call for that needle against you. It's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching. I take the snake bite within 5 minutes, is what they stood up on the platform that Jessica knows. If it was here, I'd take it within 5 minutes. March 2020, elder's wife, principal of the flock. You lead the sheep to the slaughter. You lead the sheep to the slaughter. It talks about when Babylon came and took over Yasharel, and Yahuwah just screamed out, how much more severe shall Israel, how much more severe shall Yahuwah's punishment be? For they saw Israel go off into captivity and still would not take away their high places and their pagan worships. How much more severe shall your punishment be? That's how Yahuwah thinks about his people. Take away from me, I'm talking about the untrue believer, take away from me Amos and Hosea, the songs of worship. I reject your free will offerings, the clanging of your instruments. I despise them. I hate and I despise. That's how Yahuwah talks about the apostate, your worship songs. Take them away from me, for they love not the truth. That's it. There's nothing more I can say. They love not the truth. That's it. Verse 10, therefore prophesy against them all these words, and saying to them, Yahuwah shall roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon the inhabitants. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. You want to know about treading the grapes of the fierceness of the wrath of Yahuwah is found in Revelation 18 verse 15. It is gut-wrenching. It talks about how high the blood will be, up to the horse's belly. For his wrath, his cup of Yahuwah's indignation, they will tread, the wicked ones will tread the fierceness of the might of his wrath that Revelation 18 verse 15 talks about. Oh my goodness. This is why the 501 will not allow anyone to speak from the book of Revelation. No hireling to speak from it. Close it up. Don't let them know about it. It's judgment. Don't do it and don't do it. Kurt, verse 31, please, mate.
Which book, Shane?
Still Jeremiah 25, verse 31, please, yeah?
Sure. The noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Yahuwah had a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahuwah.
Exactly. Who does he give to the sword here, guys? Just yell out. Who does he give in the very bottom line? Does he give to the sword?
Wicked.
Yes, the wicked. The wicked. Not the great, not the apple of my eye, the wicked. To the dagger, to the sharp instrument, the cutting instrument, the guillotine, the drought, the war. The ends of the earth. The top of that verse that Kurt just read, to the ends of the earth, to the four corners of the earth. No nations survive. For the light of the lamp shall not be shining you anymore. The voice of the bride and bridegroom shall not be heard in you anymore. For all the nations, for by the pharmakia, all the nations of the earth will be deceived. No one escapes. No one escapes. Beck, the very next verse, please, verse 32. Or Kurt, whoever's more comfortable reading it.
That's good.
32. Thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth.
The great whirlwind, Kurt, excellent. And the coast of the earth, the great whirlwind. This is how Yahuwah speaks, the whirlwind, the whirlwind, the whirlwind. We're not going to finish this in time. We haven't even gone back to 2 Esdras yet, the Dragon Kings of Arabia, the whirlwind. 4 Ezra talks about the terrible star, the terrible star. 4 Ezra chapter 15 talks about the terrible star that Yahuwah releases, the 5th trumpet. Terrible star from the bottomless pit is released. Apollyon, destroyer, angel of death, Abaddon, destruction, angel of death from Exodus, the whirlwind, the destroyer. It's the same thing. The terrible star from 4 Ezra chapter 15 that we're supposed to read and we haven't got time. It's released. It's released. Man shall seek death, but shall not find it. Followed immediately by the 6th trumpet, 1/3 of mankind are slain. There's nothing like the terrible star for Ezra. There's nothing like the whirlwind of Yahuwah, not the beast, not the beast, the whirlwind of Yahuwah. Where is it being released upon? What does it say? We just heard Kurt read it. From the coast of the earth, the bottom of verse 32. Okay, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Someone just yell out again, repetitive. What are some of the coastal nations of this earth? Who's got a coastline?
U.S.
Yes, US and Canada.
Just about everybody.
Africa.
Yeah. Larry put Africa is the only continent that hits all 4 corners of the earth, east, west, north, and south. Very interesting. And
Yeah.
Chloe said the same.
Good, Jesse. There is a powerful point, guys. Never underestimate Africa. They're found throughout all of the Old Testament. Powerful enemies.
Patricia says Alaska. That's true.
Yeah. The 6 people in Alaska are in trouble. That's right.
Dr. P's one of them.
That's right. Some more coastal nations, guys. Some more coastal countries.
France.
California. We don't claim California in America.
Good, Robert.
The British Isles.
Yes. Pilgrim Society. USA, UK, USA, Britain. Powerful entity that controls this world.
Russia.
Mm.
Portugal, Argentina.
Very, very good. Who said that? Who said Argentina? Who brought in South America with billions of people? Who said that?
Wilma. My name is Wilma.
Good work, Wilma Hennessy.
Welcome, Wilma.
Good work.
China.
Yes. Pakistan, India, Indonesia, Philippines, Eugene's territory, Jessica's territory. Yes. Coastal.
North and South Korea.
Yes, you got it, and you got it. You don't have to think too hard for that, do you? North and South Korea. Okay. Do you see, we're not doing a geography message here, guys. You see what Yahuwah's trying to do? Yahuwah's trying to say, look how much that I'm in control of this. Look how I draw them in. Look what happens if these countries like New Zealand, Australia say, I ain't getting involved. I'm going to make them drink from my cup of fury. I'm going to make them spew. I'm going to make them fall, and they're not going to rise no more. I'm going to make the US of A and Canada I'm going to make them drink from my wine cup. I'm going to make China, Taiwan. I'm going to make the coastal countries. I'm going to make the isles, Taiwan, that Drew talked about. Taiwan. I'm going to make them drink from my wine cup of fury, and they're going to spew and be mad, and they're going to rise no more, and they're going to fall destruction upon destruction upon destruction. That's what World War III, that's what Albert Pike's third letter is all about. Political Zionists versus Islam, the dragon kings of Arabia. We just got to finish with one verse, guys. Okay, I am so sorry. Look, again, I can't believe how long this takes. Okay. Okay, verse 33. Drew, can you just read verse 33 for me? Chapter 25, sorry. Yeah, Jeremiah 25, verse 33.
Yeah, absolutely. And the slain of Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Beautiful, Drew. Absolutely beautiful. 2 Ezra 26. 2 Ezra 16, verse 23 talks about dung upon the ground. Jeremiah talks about it everywhere. They'll be dung on the ground. Don't lament for them. Don't bury them. You won't be able to bury them. They'll be dung on the ground. Only one thing can do that, guys. No army, no Roman army can sweep across the earth with swords and arrows and soldiers and just cut down nation after nation and be dung upon the ground. Only one thing can do that. That's the only thing that can do that. Nuclear warfare. They'll be like dung on the ground. No man shall lament over them. They shall not be buried. They shall be dragged out to the streets and left there as dung upon the ground. You want to read something profound, you just do a search on dung upon the ground and it will come up everywhere. It's World War III. It is utter destruction. It is gut-wrenching. It's heartbreaking. Okay. Ezekiel 9 talks about, and start here at my temple. And start here at my temple. Know ye not that ye are the temple Elohim, that the Ruach HaKodesh dwells in? If any man defiles his temple, I, Yahuwah, shall destroy him. Start here at my temple. Ezekiel 9 talks about it. The 6 destroying angels, there's your whirlwind. There's the cup of Yah's fury. There's the blacksmith, Azazel. There's Apollyon coming out of the bottomless pit. The 6 destroying angels that Ezekiel 9 talks about, and Yahuwah talks to the one. Yahuwah talks to the one. Here's Ezekiel pleading, no, Yahuwah, please, Yahuwah, don't, Yahuwah, don't, Yahuwah, don't. You got to know how to pray and how not to pray. Even Ezekiel got it wrong. And as Ezekiel's pleading for the city's life, Yahuwah turns to the 6th angel. The 6th angel dressed in fine white linen with the inkhorn, in white linen with inkhorn and a pen, and says, have you done what I commanded? And he said, I have. Yahuwah's last command was to the 6th destroying angel, start here at my temple. Start here at my temple before you go out and slay mother and child, rich man and poor, slave and free. Before you slay them all, let no one escape except for those who have the seal of Elohim upon their forehead. Before you go and destroy the city, my destroying angels, my whirlwind, my cup of Yah's fury, Azazel, the destroyer, the angel of death, Apollyon, Abaddon, before you go out and destroy, start here at my temple.
Doesn't it explain that in Ezekiel where he's got the destroyers ready to go out and he has the one with the inkhorn to mark who are his. And once all of them are marked, then the slaying begins at the house of Yahuwah.
Beautiful, James. You guys want to read something that's the most powerful thing in all the scriptures, what James just said. Read that, you study it, you take it to heart. And this is what Jeremiah is showing us. James, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's exactly what happened. What has happened will happen. There is nothing new under the sun. What has happened will happen. It has happened so that we can see it, and we can be prepared. 2 types of people go through a tribulation, the unprepared and the prepared. Choose this day which mountain you shall stand. Stand on the mountain of curses or the mountain of blessing. That's what Elijah said. Choose this day. Two people go through, the unprepared and the prepared. Here's where we finish. Jeremiah 25, verse 24. Start here at my temple that James just talked about. Howl, ye shepherds, and cry, and wallow yourself in the ashes, ye principal of the flocks. That's talking about laymen. That's talking about elders. Ye principal of the flocks. Howl, howl, you hirelings. You led the sheep to the slaughter. For the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished, and ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel. Yahuwah is saying, you think you're such a beautiful vase on the end of a table. You, your hirelings, you who should have warned my elect, you who should have warned my people, you who should have guided and spoken the truth, the Torah, you that should have raised up and protected my children. You're like this vase, this pleasant vessel. You're on the edge of the table and your little kids just come and just knocked it over and you've just crushed and crumbled. You principal of the flock, you're just smattered and in 1,000 pieces. And you were once called my pleasant vessel. Next verse, verse 25. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee. They ain't going nowhere, guys. No way to flee. Jesus, Jesus, forgive me. They got nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. They have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry, verse 26. Do you want to take it to heart, guys? 36. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and the howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard. For Yahuwah has spoiled their pastures. That's why he says twice in the one sentence, judgment begins at the house of Elohim first. Judgment begins at the house of Elohim first. You want to speak for the truth of the Torah, you better make sure you know what you're talking about. I better make sure I know what I'm talking about. You know my hate, I told you before, my hate's not against the pagans, not against the secular. We have a big coven right next door to us, a witches coven, who are high up in the satanic music industry, Illuminati, a very famous star in this country. Evil coven. My hatred is not towards pagans. My hatred is not towards secular. My hatred is not towards the apostasy. My hatred is towards the hirelings and the principles of the flock. For they are Judah. They watched Israel be taken captivity to Babylon and never changed their hearts. For they worshipped one thing and one thing only, Rome. They loved the 30 pieces of silver they're given every Jesuit Sunday to betray the Messiah, Yahusha, all over again. You want to speak the truth of the Torah. We are going to get our hearts right, guys. We are going to chase after Elohim like no woman alive, no man alive. No matter what we stand against, no matter what pain rips through our body, we're going to chase after God, Yahuwah, like no one else. Howl, ye shepherds, for all this shall come upon you. Guys, we've got 10 minutes. We're going to finish at 5:30. We couldn't even go to 4 Ezra chapter 15. Forgive me. The terrible star is the same thing. Psalm 80, 88, I think it is, yeah? 83. Psalm 83 talks about the confederation of 10 Islamic countries. There's your World War III. Okay. That's when you call it World War III. When countries like Sudan get involved, Kush. When these countries get involved, the crown princes of Saudi Arabia, the Crown Princess of Kuwait, Jordan, the Crown Princess bloodlines. They have always been pharaonic bloodlines, and they always will be. Guys, let's take this 9 minutes until 5:30 before we finish. Any input, anything you saw, you want to add in, please just shoot it out. Yeah. Okay. I want to thank you for sticking around. I want to thank you for being so quiet. You know, that's what I really dig about you guys. Yeah. Okay. We all see people dominate things and interrupt things and go on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay. But you guys, when you inject short and sharp, and I really appreciate that. So please, this is your time now. We want to give more time once I get the hang of all this, so that you can input what you see, what you think is happening. So just fire it out, guys.
Yeah, you know, Shandy, your last point about not hating the coven next door. I just love the verse in Hebrews 12, seek peace or follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no one will see Yahweh. So it's like pretty much sums up the whole journey in that very succinct phrase, seek peace with all men, not followers only, not, you know, to your point earlier too, where like the Torah community will have discontent or Christendom will have discontent. Put that all aside, seek peace and holiness. So holiness, you know, you could do years of study on what it means to be holy, but we're called to be holy like Yah is holy. So that's the gist of it. And so, yeah, that's, you know, it's a very important, I think, important lesson in today's world to not hate those, even that we see are evil, to weep inside for them and to seek peace with them, or else we won't be Yah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really speaks to me, Drew. It really speaks to Chris and Joy. Yeah.
Say that again, James.
No, I was just saying that we're supposed to love what Yahweh loves and hate what Yahweh hates.
Yes. Yes.
It's Mary, isn't it? Sorry, Joy. James is
Maria,
only your name.
Maria Isabel.
Maria Isabel.
Excellently said. Will you just say that one more time? Just say that one more time.
Maria Isabel.
No, say about hate and love.
Oh, yeah. Yahweh wants us to love the things of Yahweh and to hate the things that He hates.
Yeah.
Amen. Things.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yes, I just wanted to say, my sisters and I, we decided to walk a bloodline over our properties, and we gave everything to Yahweh and repented for the land. And when my house was built, every beam has a scripture on it. I've given everything to Yahweh, and I just, every day, like, I'm so grateful for the food I get to eat. You know, there are people who are starving. I'm blessed on means, but I tell you what, I've put my red line in the sand. You know, I will gladly die for my testimony, and I'm not leaving where I'm at. I'm not leaving where I'm at. And, you know, I'm looking at America being destroyed in the last 2 years. And when Yah talks about spewing people out of the land, you look at California and you look at Washington State, they're all homeless camps. And it's like they're being spewed out of the states. We're having plants being burned. We're having all kinds of things happen here in America. It's just a puppet. Who says
Trade derailments of the toxic chemicals all over the place.
especially where the farmlands are. And then you know, Newsom, Gavin Newsom, he made the reservoirs go out to the sea. They talk about how they're not going to fill, they're all going out to the sea because he did that. He also made war with people. And do you remember the city of Paradise, the fire?
Yes.
Where all this fire, and it was actually a helicopter with a plane.
Yes, that's right, Joy.
That's right. Yeah.
He put more on his own people, and
Exactly.
so
What you said there was so incredibly powerful. We actually had that video, played that video about 10 months ago. That
That's home.
blew my mind.
Yeah, I saw it at That's Home. Yeah.
Mm, good memory.
Energy weapons.
Rena, did you want to say something?
Nothing happens without Yah allowing it.
Absolutely. All his hand.
So it has to come to pass, but we have to be prepared.
Yes. Yes.
Well said. Okay, the wine cup's in his hand, and we have to prepare. This is exactly what we hope to take away. Well said.
Yeah.
This guy's got about 3 minutes. Just jump in there.
Yes, Rena.
Yah gave me Psalm 119 when he was calling me out of Judaism.
Oh, wow.
And for those that were not raised or were brought up or inquire about the things of Judaism, be very careful. Be very careful because they're traditions of man.
That's right. Very different to Torah. That's a good point.
That is right.
Yeah. Very, very.
So Pesach to me, it's a solemn assembly because I realize what it took. Yeah.
Christ.
So what he gave to us.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's very hard to understand, but when you look at it in that perspective, as you know, what it took.
Yeah.
For that feast to happen. It's unbelievable.
You know, that is why we observe a communion during our Pesach to honor Yahushua's sacrifice.
Yes.
Now, VK just put up a very good live chat there that we all have to understand. Can you read VK's last one, or VK likes to? I read it out. I just got to sprint away for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes, guys.
Yah makes good and he makes evil, and that's part of the understanding of who he is.
Exactly.
Christianity doesn't understand. Absolutely. Christianity doesn't understand at all. And see, I want to say something to you before you go. You will definitely be gone before Stephen starts at 6 o'clock, which is half an hour away, but we won't be staying on for that long. Hilary, did you want to say something?
Oh, thanks, Jess. I just wanted to mention that Yom Kippur and Passover are very closely aligned because the goats are sacrificed, just like Yeshua sacrificed at Passover. And they pushed off the Azazel goat off the cliff. They weren't supposed to. They were supposed to take him out into the wilderness and let him go free, but they didn't want him coming back, so they pushed him off the cliff. And I think it's going to be very much like Judah pushing us off the cliff because they don't want us to come back to the Holy Land. And that's why they passed the Noahide laws, declared them at the end of November, a few years ago, and said, if you don't worship in our temple coming, you'll die. And if you confess that Yeshua is Mashiach and God, and our sacrifice lamb, then you will die by beheading.
Yeah,
So
very true. Again, a distinction from Judaism. We are not Judaism. We're not any of those sects that you said there. Torah is completely different. And I say that because we're speaking to an international audience who will watch this after. It's not that they're an audience. We are a fellowship, and this is Shabbat. And this is a solemn time that we come together. But, you know, each and every one of you are so, so precious. We keep on saying that so many times, but I'm not saying it in my own stead. I'm saying that through the lens and the eyes of Yah, every one of you that join here, you have been called, you have been appointed, and we come together in this fellowship. And I'm saying that because this is going to go on YouTube, and I want people to know how set apart you are, how cultivated in his bosom you are, and what he has called and pulled out of all of you. I did have a slight message, or I have to wait for next time, but before I even say just a few key points to that, right? As I go through you know, Hillary, I just love, we can see, and I want you all to know, this woman, she studies, like Vanessa Kay here, the word so well. And she studies it to a depth that she is just ready to breathe it out to people in love. That's what this community is about. Burke and your wife, but Burke and Kurt, I'm getting confused with your saying, you know, privileged to have your son and your parents join here today. What an honor that they would come and join with us. But again, for people who are watching wider, we just see the call and the anointing and the love of Yah and his pursuit for his will in these times. And that needs to be honored here. Robert, you know, again, I know you're on your own, and look how much you do. You're very much like Rick B, who is here. You both are in your wildernesses. You work on your own. Rick literally lives in the wilderness, and yet he comes, he pays for electricity to come and watch these programs and be part of the community. Can you see how you are going to be, as this goes out, a light to all four corners of the earth, because you have all been called. You have all got something so special upon you. Rena is another one of those women that is very, very prophetic, has a great eye for the word, and just in love and authority, and just ministering like Joy and her sisters in that area to people. And this is really going to stand up, because what I can see is Yahuwah bringing us as a community together, not just to minister here, but outside into the world. Ivy from Lynn from Netherlands, how she's had to stand alone, just like dear Erna. They've had to stand alone since they've lost their spouses, but they are strong in love and strong in the word, and that's going to speak out. Do you know Mary? Mary is so special. Here it's got Mary and Randy. She, out of her own cost, supplies the Sefer and the word at a great cost financially to her, I know, to Africa, and I know to New Zealand. When you think of the cost that is from where she's based to those countries, it's expensive, but this is the investment of the word that she does. And then we have people like Ichabod, who's not here today, and I'm pronouncing her name wrongly, but it's something similar to that, from Germany. Same as Heather, both you and her, your health story is so similar. Sometimes she will join us and she's on her hospital bed because she's hospitalized at home. And you've been a real blessing, Heather, just to get to know and fellowship with you, because I know how difficult it was with your health circumstances just to turn Zoom on and to sit there throughout this whole situation. And yesterday you had an amazing provision. Yah goes before you. He uses you. You know, just all of you stand out. Lisa, just meeting you for 2 weeks, we see the love. You can see that over you. Hennessy, hearing you speak. Drew, you know, we've heard your testimony, your love of Yah. All of you here are so special. It's so hard to include everyone here, but you must get to know one another, because these other people that are going to see you, they're going to see that you have been called, that you have been rooted, that you have been planted. We've got John Barr here, such a special heart. Gosh, if you listen to his testimony, the pain that has cultivated him from the army and personally, wow, there is so much there. Vanessa Kay, wonderful word, and you can see how much of her own experience you just draw on. I'm so privileged to say that we have been called a community, and we come together every Shabbat to come together once a month and worship together, because you speak, although you sit there silently, you will speak, you know, in your testimony to people. I'm amazed at Frankie. He looks so young and he's got 5 children. I'm amazed with all of you here. But look, this is what I wanted to say, because we're running out of time and I want you to have enough time to make a cup of tea before you join with Stephen. Okay, I see that Yahuwah is bringing out so many Josephs. You are in the pit. You are in the pit. But Yah orchestrates everything. Vanessa and others have said here today, and Rena, everything is by Yah's hand. Even the bad and the difficult and the ugly in your life has been orchestrated for strength in each and every one of your lives, even when it's brought you to grief and to the pit and to loneliness. I want to say to you not to despise it. Don't despise your hardships, because he did that so you remember him. He does that and he continues to do it so that you are a testimony of the Ruah, of his presence, of his scripture and of his word, and that he keeps you grafted in him, and that all the praise, the worship, the glory and the honor goes to him. So no matter how hard it is, see him at work in this situation. And when Joseph was in that pit, if he didn't get to that pit, the nation couldn't be saved. Do not underestimate the calling upon your lives, because you are in the business of saving nations. You here, you know, you're that grape in a cluster that Shane spoke of from Ezra. Every one of you is that grape in the cluster, and you have been brought out as that drop so that you can speak through your circumstances of pain and joy, and just as yourselves, to nations. Indeed, just by seeing you here, you are speaking to the nations. As people hear you as this goes out, do not underestimate it. You have been called for a purpose, from your bed, from your wheelchair, from your hardship, from being widowed, from being alone, from having no money, from nearly committing suicide and coming out the other side. You are all here with a purpose, and you will save nations, and you will save people's lives because of the experience that they will identify with. Do not underestimate it. Moses was saying, how shall I do this? How shall I go? And he was told, to the point of rebuke, use what is in your hand. Use what's in your hand, use what's in your life, and see. Don't wait for destiny to come, because we're in a season of the end times where it's not about waiting for your appointment, for your anointing. It's all about him. It's not about ministries anymore. It's what we can do in this time for him. And when you realize that, then you see that you are a beacon, you are an ambassador for him, but he will use your personal circumstances, and he will take you out of that pit, and he will give you rain upon your land so that you can bring rain to other people's land, so that you can show them how to work out salvation through fear and trembling, because that's what you have done. It's not about you. It's about the love of Yah through you, and his testimony of breakthrough coming through in your lives that brings them, these special called out people, to become part of that cluster and learn how to survive in these times. So I want to say to each and every one of you, you have a specific end time calling. Don't despise how you've got here. Don't despise where you are, because you are all ministers, if you want to use that word. You are all part of the Kodashim, his disciples, called and appointed by him, grafted, and he is going to use you. I say this because Shane and I care for you so deeply, but our care goes further than that. We see through the lens of Yah. And so we want to just say how much Yah loves you. He has called you, and for you to know how you minister to others, to each other here, and how this will go out to others and also do the same thing, and that he goes before you. And now is the time of the Josephs being released, not for your own gain, but for his kingdom's sake.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I have one thing to mention. Verse Joshua, chapter 1. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. It says, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid or discouraged, for Yahweh your Elohim is with you wherever you go.
Amen.
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 Yeah. Words of encouragement.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are great encouragers. I know you stand there where you live and you're ready, and we see you pour yourselves out all the time, so we recognize that here. Thank you for your input.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, before you
Thankful
go,
for
guys,
and all the people.
Thank
here.
you.
before you go, just what Maria said, that is truly, if there was two words that Yahuwah wants to say to all of us throughout the end times, is what Maria and James just said: to be strong and very courageous. He speaks that throughout all the Old Testament when Israel was about to give up, and that's why they went through it, so that we can go through it. Joy, thank you. Okay, guys, you're so special, and we want to release you so that if you want to stick around for a while, please stick around. But if you want to see Dr. Pitchen's one and have a break first, please take that break. Okay.
Yeah,
Well said, guys. Well said.
we love you. Thank you. I know there's
Shabbat shalom, everybody. We love you
Shabbat
wherever
shalom.
you are.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Take care. We'll miss you. We'll see you next time. Always the same code to get in.
Good to see you, Frankie.
Thank you.
Yeah, Frankie's just so young. Goodness.
Joy, just stay if you can for just 30 seconds.
Thanks, Shane and Jessica. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
you
you,
today.
Kurt. Beck, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
you
for your
guys.
help.
Thank you.
I get a bigger light bulb next time, right? So I can actually print. Yeah.
Baruch atah hamishpacha.
Baruch atah.
Yes,
Yes, thank you, Raina.
thank you,
You're
Raina.
right.
Yes, Ren. Lisa, thank you.
Yes,
Candy,
thank you.
stick around, Candy. Yeah.
We feel a bond.
Lynn, so great to see you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for a nice meeting.
Thank you, Lynn.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Lynn.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
See you
Sean.
next time. Be blessed.
You too.
Reese and Karen and Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kev, that's Kev there. Champion.
Yeah.
Kev, yeah,
Brilliant.
good to see you again, Kev.
I'm sorry, I haven't got my picture up. I'm afraid, Shane.
Don't worry.
Sorry
Please
about
don't worry about that. You know, I actually prefer to do that for myself. It's great. It's just it's comfortable and just do it. Yeah. That way.
I'd
Yeah.
rather listen.
Yeah. Joy, how are you keeping? How are you keeping around where you are? Yeah. Are you keeping?
Oh, hold on. Shoot.
We keep-
Okay. Microphone is, how am I? What now?
Are you keeping around your property? Are you keeping strong? Are you keeping okay?
I'm keeping strong. You know, I have a lot of pain, but I praise Yahweh every day going through it.
Is this from your sporting day, Joy, from the free falling from out of the 727s?
I had a tumor in my chest and I had to have my chest open like 10 inches.
Okay.
2 weeks later, I was in a really bad wreck.
Yeah.
I never hurt myself falling through the air. I loved it.
Good work, Joy. Good work. You know, that's what, you know, yeah, please stick around. Lisa, stick around, yeah? Okay, Susan, Mark and Reese,
Yeah.
James, Maria, please, Kev.
Yeah.
Just
But when
stick-
you need to go for Stephen,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
be released.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just going to take off the recording, but you
Yeah.
continue talking.
Okay,
And
Joy.
thank you everyone for joining.
You got so much strength about you, Joy.